नमस्कार दोस्तों, मैं अमिताभ and you are watching A Word with the World. Friends, today we are going to talk about values and the virtual world. We grown-ups, professionals, educators, we somewhere have presumed the role with a presumption that we know everything. But then the person about whom we are talking about, our youngsters, our Gen Next, they want to have a voice. Is anyone asking them what is happening around? What do they want? Are they happy with it? Are they unhappy with it? Do they have a point of view? They sure do. And they want to be counted. They say that if it concerns us, you should talk to us. And today's episode, we have leaders of today and tomorrow from the schools. The head boy, the head girl, the interact presidents, people to whom it matters. And today we are going to have a representation from three different corners of India, the largest democracy of the world. We have a representation from the western side, from Mumbai. From southern side, we have a representation from Hyderabad, and from east, we have a representation from Kolkata. So allow me, without any further delay, to invite the Gen Next leaders, leaders of today and tomorrow, who want to be counted, who want their voice to be heard, who want to have a dialogue, a word with a word. And today, it's going to be about values and the virtual world. So let me invite my guests for the day. Keshav Kumar from Delhi Public School, Mega City, Kolkata. Abida Thakkar, Delhi Public School, Panvel, Navi Mumbai. We have Navya from Meridian School, Hyderabad. Welcome to all of you on our show, A Word with a Word. How are you all doing?
Good, sir.
Great.
Very good. And friends, before we take this dialogue with the word on values and the virtual world, I would like each one of you to introduce yourself so that people watching this gets to know and get introduced to our resource for the day. And I would like to begin with Keshav. Keshav, can I request you to introduce yourself and your school, please?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. This is Keshav Kumar Kavatia, head boy, Delhi Public School, Mega City, Kolkata. I'm glad to be a part of such an amazing event where our voices, the voices of the students, is heard. So thank you for that. A big thank you to you and your team and the DBSM family for giving me this opportunity to speak here. Sir, I'm glad that 14 years ago, my parents chose DPSM for me. And the reason being that apart from the educational excellence our school has, the infrastructure our school has, one thing which the school focuses on is giving each child equal opportunity, each child exposing each child to new challenges and allowing them to take part in the co-curricular events. Another thing, so which I individually like the most, is that our school is more of a family than a school. I'm glad that each and every teacher is so approachable for students that we share an extraordinary bond with the students and the teachers. So the teachers are available all the time for not only clarifying the doubts in academics of students, but also their personal life. So we have been known for working as a team, and this teamwork helped us win the Telegraph School of the Year award in 2019. And also, I'm proud and happy that this teamwork helped us overcome the new challenge of learning online. The lockdown didn't stop us from learning and interacting online. Thank you.
That's so nice to hear from you, and the pride I can see that you have for your school, for your mentors, and for your teachers, and probably that speaks volumes. I would like my viewers to know that Keshav, besides being the head boy of the school, is also president of Interact Club of the school as well. So let's from the eastern side, and congratulations to Delhi Public School Mega City for being the school of the year. Keshav, I think teachers make the effort, but students justify the efforts of the teacher. You all have done a great job. Congratulations for that as well. Friends from east, I think in a natural poetic expression comes the west as the next. So we take all our viewers from Keshav in Calcutta to Abida in Mumbai. Abida, may I please request you to introduce yourself and your school?
Good morning, Amitabh sir, my fellow participants, and all the netizens watching us live. I would first like to thank Amitabh sir and his team for creating such an opportunity for us young minds to voice our opinions. I am Abhidha from Delhi. I am the head of the school. Our school laid its first brick on 14th June 2015, and tomorrow, that is 14th June 2020, we will be completing 5 successful years, and I hope we have many more years ahead. DPS Conway at providing the development of students through a mix of co-curricular activities, sports, and participation in various competitions. DPS Panvel also aims at making their students innovative and creative. DPS Panvel not only aims at holistic development but also helps us inculcate life skills and values. DPS Panvel focuses more on experiential learning and encourages us to participate at various competitions at different levels. I feel very privileged to be a part of DPS Panvel, and I also feel very privileged to be a part of a world with the world today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for being our guest today, Abida, and I'm really thankful to each one of your principals and the management for nominating you to be part of our dialogue today. And Abida, uh, it's so nice to hear such progress in just about 5 years that your school has made, and it is already making a mark and a name across the country. And I'm sure you people are the torchbearers for the same. Friends, I would like you all to know that Abida has been the head girl of the school, Delhi Public School, Panvel at Navi Mumbai. So welcome to our show, Abida. Friends, so from the cultural capital of India, that is Kolkata, we've gone to the business capital of India, that is Mumbai. So let us from there move to Nawabon ka Sheher, which has a heritage of its own, and we'll take you to Navya from Hyderabad. Navya, can I request you to introduce yourself and your school, please?
Namaste Amitabh sir, my friends on the panel and our viewers. I am Navya Madaraju of class 10, representing Meridian School, Banjara Hills, Hyderabad. Before I begin to introduce myself, let me take a moment to thank my principal, Dr. D. Usha Reddy ma'am, and the school Times for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this wonderful session. Coming to me, I'm the president of the Rotary Interact Club of our school and a black belt in karate. I'm also an avid reader and I'm learning to play the guitar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Navya, for such a to the point introduction of yourself. And Meridian is one of the strong names in the southern part, and your school is doing extremely well. Thank you so much for representing your school. And at such a young age, being a Interact president at your school is very, very commendable achievement. So we have experience at a young age of being the head girl or the head boy. We have an experience of being the president of Interact. Interact is a school unit of Rotary International, and which is committed to take up various social issues and social causes. And our issue in discussion today is values and the virtual world. And you are watching A Word with a Word with Amitabh Mohan, your friendly psychologist. So let us take our dialogue further, friends. All of you are quite aware and familiar that these days there's a lot of talk about online education. And for long, we have been debating and questioning the usage of social media, computer, laptop, mobile phones, excessive usage of these was in debate till about few days back before the lockdown. We as a educational educationist or professionals would even say that youngsters should keep away and have a restricted uses for the same. And there was a lot of talk about the healthy unhealthy exposure that one may get being online in the virtual world. And that is where this whole topic and theme has come up in last 2 months. The virtual experience, the virtual reality has become our reality. Whether it is a corporate work, whether your parents are doing a business or working employed in a corporate office, wherever or in a government job, everything is online. And in last 2 months, 3 months, schools have done a remarkable job, and they have stepped into ensuring that the education continues. So I would like to begin our dialogue with getting a perspective from each one of you, because we as grown up professionals in education sector, and we are debating, is online education effective or not? And this online education also is increasing the exposure to the virtual world, right? And that is where we'll come to the debate of the values in the virtual world. First, I would like to know your experience with online education, and I would like you to be absolutely candid. Do you think it is relevant, useful? You think no, it is an eyewash? There are a lot of people who are saying it is an eyewash that schools are having. It's not very beneficial, but I think you are the people who matter, and we would like to hear it straight from the user, straight from the beneficiary. Why should others talk about it when you can speak for yourself? And I would like to begin taking the feedback on online education, this time going to the city of the Vaps, Hyderabad.
Thank you, sir. I believe that online classes may be virtual, but the learning is real. Teachers and students are putting their best efforts in making them successful. Just like a nation is not known by its boundaries but by its people, similarly, a school is not made by its infrastructure but by its stakeholders. The value of a teacher or a student and what they stand for cannot be ignored or underestimated just because they're outside the four walls of a classroom. Therefore, I believe that online education is definitely effective in helping us move forward with our education.
Thank you so much. And the beautifully framed the statement. I am impressed with your communication skill, the way you express your thoughts so beautifully, Navya. And that is the first opening line itself, when you said that your exact, you said that schools and maybe closed, but then education is continuing, and you are valuing the same.
Yes.
Amita, you heard Navya. What is the perspective from Mumbai, your school, and the friends that you interact with? What is everybody's feeling? Because you have been a representative of a student council, you headed it. So we would like to hear what is the perspective of the majority.
Even if, sir, we are in such an unexpected situation, still I will say life never stops, learning never stops. And I feel virtual world has given us such a brighter option that we can keep our life going and our learning going too. I feel that jahan चाह hai, वहाँ राह hai. The same way, even if we are not able to reach our school by road, we are still able to reach classrooms and the environment of the classrooms. And I feel virtual world has given us such a great platform, and I feel very thankful for that.
And so virtual world has given us a great platform. Life doesn't stop, so does learning also cannot stop. And as Navya said, virtual has become our real today. And we have to accept and keep on moving on the same. Keshav, you have heard both Navya and Abida. You may have the same experience. You may have a different experience. I would like to know your perspective. That what is the perception of people in your school, your friends, your juniors, and also the friends that you're talking in your city?
So, thank you. So, agreeing to both Navya and Abida, online education is the need of the hour and is 100% effective. So,
Right.
in my perspective, online education is nothing new. It is an age-old program, and distance learning still existed years ago. There were students learning from one part of the country to and teachers being at the in the other corners. So it is nothing new. It is 100% effective. Secondly, sir, if online education is used to its maximum potential and made effective, like say in our school, DPS Megacity is ensuring all the security measures for the students. So we are being the all the study material of all the lessons are being uploaded on cloud storage, so it is accessible to students at any point of time, and teachers are available for clarifying doubts at all the times and without any foundation of time. So, sir, online learning, there's no alternative right now. You cannot step out of your home and go physically and learn. It is the need of the hour, and there's no debate over it that online learning is supposed to be done right now.
Thank you so much. So, online learning, all three leaders of today and leaders of tomorrow are in sync about the utility of online education, online classes, and they feel that this virtual becoming our new real is very, very beneficial for all of us. And as Keshav just now emphasized, that even when we were in the lockdown, we were not in a position to get the books to continue our learning. The schools have taken the initiative. He talked about his experience with his school in a mega city, that teachers have uploaded a lot of material in the cloud, making the resource available so that reference literature is available and education goes on and continues. So we are all on a common ground, on a common page, that online education is very, very important. Keshav, Abida, Navya, I personally feel that there is a term we are using, new normal, and I feel that more than ever, online medium is going to be the new reality, and a lot of new perspectives are going to emerge in times to come, which also implies greater exposure to the whole word. The word comes into our window. We peep out of our window in our laptop, and we see the rest of the word without much of a filter. And this that gives us ideas that we need, that gives us the ideas that we don't need, and so that may affect the values, that is probably already affecting the values. So I would like at this point of time to take your opinion. First of all, I would like to understand each of your opinion on rather, let me go first to Keshav. Keshav, can you define values in the context of virtual world, in your opinion?
So, thank you, sir. So, basically, what are moral values? That when you have the quality to decide what is wrong and what is right for you, right? So, up there in the mind, if
Right.
you're conscious enough that with whichever thing you're doing, if you know that you are, if the thing that you are doing is right, then you are morally upright. And whether so it's the real world or the virtual world, anywhere, if you are a morally upright person, you cannot I mean, you can make mistakes online, but then you know that you are doing something wrong. So, sir, it's I will come down to the entire topic of this theme, that the values of a person define whether he's doing something right or wrong, be it the real world or be it the virtual world.
So Keshav's take is values are values. They don't change when you go virtual, and your values may define your choices. So Navya, you heard a perspective that Keshav has. What is your perspective and take on the same?
Yes, I absolutely agree with what Keshav said. Values are values and they cannot be changed whether you're online or offline. We have some basic guidelines to which we should abide by, may it be online or offline, may it be privacy, security. It is applicable everywhere. So, yes, I do agree with Keshav and my views are aligned with him.
Okay, Abida, what is your take on the same?
I agree with both of you, Keshav and Navya. I feel values are the backbone of the society, and it is the thing by which a person's character and personality is determined. And rightly values can't change even if you change the platform. Even if it's the offline mode or the online mode, it will be the same if you are the valued person. So whatever action we take, be it online or be it offline, it only depends on our values we have and the values which are inculcated to us and how we follow them.
All right. And again, our Gen Next leaders are of the opinion values are values, they don't change with the medium. Yes, more the exposure, more responsible we have to become. So now, my question to all of you is that we have been talking about value erosion, moral erosion with the with the every passing year, generation by generation. Probably we are saying that हमारे time में ethics were more, and आप लोगों के time में the ethics are affected and compromised. And one of the blames that goes to the eroding values is to the media exposure, virtual reality that we are all living in, access to all kind of information to people. And now with the current online education, there is a possibility that even younger children will be more spending more time on the computer, and the internet connectivity may be available to them. So there will be a different set of exposure. So how do you think a what is your opinion? Do you think values are getting affected and eroded over a period of time? Do you agree with it or you don't agree with it? What is your take on it? And how do you see media and the online life is influencing the same? And I would like to begin with Abida on this.
Sir, I feel that values in the society determine ourselves. And sir, as question say, as your to the answer to your question, I feel virtual world helps us for effective communication, helps us for various kind of positive points. But at the same time, it also has a negative side of it. And I feel that values do influence us, and over the passage of time I feel the values have eroded a bit, because all the incidents by our side we see that there are some incidents which actually corrupt the minds of the young children. We are taken away by all those incidents, but at the same
Right?
time I feel virtual world also helps us to keep on a pace with our values. Also, this platform on which we students and you are able to connect, the whole world is able to connect. So, sir, we are actually giving each other a chance to talk, each other a chance to voice their opinion. So that is a value which is present in all of us. So I feel virtual world is like a knife. You can use it for your benefit, or you can also use it to stab someone. So it only depends on the user.
That's a very diplomatic response, Abida, I must say. And Abida says that virtual world is a double-edged sword, and it is up to us that how we make use of it. It does have a potential to affect people's psyche in a negative direction, but at the same time, as she gave an example, it is an opportunity to connect as well, like we are connecting right now. That's the perspective. Navya, you heard Abida. What is your take on the same?
Well, every change has its ups and downs, but I would like to emphasize on the positive side of having more access to internet and yeah. I believe that with changing times, new values get added to the existing ones. Like for example, 50 years back, we did not have anything like internet privacy or cybersecurity, but now we do. So I believe that values do exist in society, but and they are uprooted. Like Abita said previously, they are the backbone of society, and I believe that new values get added to the existing ones.
All right. So there are a lot of positives to draw from the virtual world. Why only focus on the negative? So, in a way, Navya is trying to say that virtual world is merely a reflection of the real world. So, why look at it any differently? Keshav, so do you think that values are getting eroded, if at all? Why and where and how? And how do you think, what is the role that the virtual world have in that value creation or value erosion?
So the first thing, with the change of time, for sure, values are changing, right? So earlier, a parent or a school did not have they did not have to simply inculcate values of the online presence. But now, since the online platforms are evolving and with the power of anonymity, students need to be told about what to do online, what not to do online, and so there's a lot. I believe that there's a lot more work increased for schools and both the parents to inculcate more values, because with the virtual world, students and the youth is basically being exposed more to the virtual world. Coming on to the next question, so it solely depends upon a person in which way he or she is using the virtual world. There is a lot of negative content available online, and there is a lot of positive and valuable content available online too. What I believe is a person can truly grow as a person and a human being online. The
Right.
online platforms have that capability too. So that's it.
So, Keshav, hearing you, I realize your emphasis is on educating our young generation about the usage and the responsible usage of the opportunity available. Rather than
Right.
telling them don't use it, it's time that we need to educate them how to effectively use it, because that is where the medium is going to become our advantage there. So thank you so much for sharing that perspective. Friends, I think we need to depend and rely on our Gen Next leaders, leaders of today and tomorrow, who are already leading in different bodies in their school, being the captain, being the interact presidents, and they do have a point of view. छोटा बच्चा जान के हमको ना समझाना रे. You know, we have a point, and we want to make a point, and we want to be counted. And friends, I'm very encouraged, viewers, listening to these three young leaders and the captain, hearing their point of view. They have already emerging and coming with recommendations that we have to think about and look at seriously. Schools, parents, we all have to now get a perspective right, because it is not about telling our next generation, our younger generation, that don't make use of virtual world, because virtual is as real and is part of our life. It is going to stay there. Important is to educate, provide that exposure, provide that training, provide to ensure that maturity in our younger generation to act responsibly with the resource. Because it is more like, I'm going back to what Abhida said a little while earlier, it is two-sided knife. And it is like, if we use the word nuclear, it can be used to produce energy, and it can be used for destruction as well. So it is about being a responsible usage of the resource available, not just straight away giving a blanket generalized statement that virtual word is a bad word. You want to say something, Keshav? I sense that you have you were about to say something here. Go ahead, please.
No, say it's fine. I was in.
All right. I saw that eagerness. We'll come to it. You feel free to do that. No, don't worry. You are but the guest, and you have full authority to say, "Sir, I want to make a point at any point of time." Feel free to do that. All right, each one of you, friends. So let's go further, friends. Once again, let me remind you, the guest that you are watching at the moment, Keshav Kumar, head boy, DPS Megacity, as well as President Interact Club of the school. Amida Thakur, head girl, Delhi Public School, Panvel, Mumbai. And we have Navya, Meridian School, Hyderabad President Interact Club, and you are watching the Word with a Word, and we are discussing and having a dialogue on values and the virtual world. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं और थोड़ा सा जानने की कोशिश करते हैं. Let's try and understand and get more perspectives here. So one thing is very clear: all of you are of the opinion that it is a reality. It is not just virtual; it is very much real, and it's part of our life. So we all are settled on that. तो अब अगर ये हमारी हकीकत बन गई है और आप लोगों का point of view है that we need to go about educating our next generation. So this brings a point. How? I remember, मुझे याद है हम लोग जब छोटे हुआ करते थे, हम लोग जब स्कूल में जाया करते थे, ये उन दिनों की बात है. Long back, I remember when I used to be in school, and we used to have moral science classes. There was in that timetable, there was a moral science or moral education classes scheduled. We even had books to read. We used to indulge in discussions with our teachers, and there were also a lot of initiative taken by teachers to guide us in group. You will be able to guide me whether that is still happening there in your schools or not. My question is, how to go about educating or controlling our younger generation, your generation, so that they behave more responsibly when it comes to virtual work. And I would like to open it this time, not taking a name. Who would like to comment on this? Yes, go ahead, Keshav.
Right. So, sir, just a second, sir. Sir, so could you please repeat your question? I'm sorry, I went.
No, it's okay, Keshav. It's absolutely fine. My question is, हम लोग के टाइम पे moral science classes होती थी. आप लोग के टाइम पे होती हैं, नहीं होती हैं, आप लोग बेटर मुझे बता पाएंगे, right? And probably the word has also progressed. There are different ways of grooming. So ये जो online इसके लिए कैसे हम अपनी younger generation को prepare करें so that they have more responsibility. So what is your recommendation? How can we guide them and prepare them for more responsible behavior?
Right, sir. So I remember, sir, when I was in standard 7th or 8th, you gave us moral life, moral value classes, and that was amazing for us to have. So, sir, with the changing times, we can have those classes online too, and to the point that learning and staying safe from the virtual world, so we can learn from events like the boys' locker room, right? So the teachers and the teachers and the parents can guide the students of what went wrong there and what was not supposed to be done there, what was supposed to be done there, how to come out of their situation. So we have opportunities to learn from. So that is an amazing view to learn from. Then parents and teachers can collectively, teach the students about what should be done online and what should not be done online. The communication gap between the parents and the students should be built up, because I'll be frank, in India there's this awkward thing between the children and the parents, where the children might not open up in front of their parents and they might not guide them further. So sir, this healthy parenting should also prevail.
So you are saying that there's a requirement for more open communication between the grown-ups, the parents, and the younger generation, so that they can open up and have a more clearer perspective of what is happening. And I think you have a point, and you have brought in a very intriguing example, which is a burning issue at the moment, and the media is talking about. And you have referred to boys' locker room. Amita and Navya, you are familiar with the boys' locker room controversy?
Yes.
You have some idea about it? All right.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to, at this point of time, take up that also, because that is an example very much pertinent and relevant to the topic and the theme that we are talking, values and the virtual world. And there was this boys' locker room, which is created by some younger people, as media reports, because we do not know what the fact is. But then, as media has reported, there are young minds who have created a group where they were talking about almost everything which is prohibited. which is taboo, which is they are talking about sex, they are talking about girls, they are talking about passing lewd comments, uh, or objectifying a gender, or even otherwise. So that is the kind of context which is there. And so how do you see these kind of trends which are there? Because naturally young mind is very vulnerable to these kind of platforms which are created, which are more negative platform. We get tempted towards the negative, we get tempted towards the forbidden. And if we get an opportunity where I can explore the forbidden, we get tempted towards it. So what is each of your call? And as Keshav has talked about it, I would like Navya or Abida, one of you, to share and take an initiative. What is your perspective about the same? Yes, Navya.
I'm sure most of us are familiar about the whole boys' locker room incident. I do not wish to go into the details, but I will say this, that the incident has spread a message as to what an adverse impact social media can have on a teenager. Past CBSE has actually made and shared a cyber safety handbook with schools from classes 9 to 12. It contains potential threats of social media that can be posed and educated all of us about cyber safety. Also, it is more important that the parents should educate their children about the do's and don'ts on social media. Apart from the school taking its own initiative, parent-child communication, like Keshav has mentioned, should be initiated by the parents and should be also spoken about more openly.
Okay, so there is, cyber security awareness should be spread more. Cyber consequences should be told to people, as well as parent-child communication on these issues need to become more open than ever before. I think our generation needs to be more accepting of the fact that we need to be more open about discussing these issues with your generation, right? And friends, that is what Navya's take on the this particular episode we talked about. Abhisha, what is your opinion about the whole issue and how it is affecting? Because it has lots to do with the values getting eroded. That why are people getting into these groups? Why are they being prone to such temptations? Why are they giving into such temptations? And definitely there is some weakness in the values at the moment, which is they are not able to stop themselves from being part of what they know is not correct.
Yes, sir. Rightly said earlier also that it depends on the person in whatever choices they make. It depends on the person's value on whatever choices they make. So, yes, social media has had a corruptive impact on the minds of young people. Sir, but we need to take all these incidents around us as an eye opener for us. And it is obvious that even if we are at the pinnacle of our career, it is necessary for virtual world to come in, and virtual not actually sideline virtual world. It has a major role in our life. So we need to be we need to have a pace with the virtual world, but at the same time we also need to minimize the influence of it. So
Right.
conclusion, I would say that we should have more webinars right now in this current situation, like we have this with you. So, sir, all these webinars and all the other things which can be done right now should be an eye opener for the younger generation. We should tell them all the do's and don'ts and what are right and wrong, and we should help them inculcate more values and dig out the earlier values which we had. And also, I that there should be an open discussion on all these matters, and the taboo around all these discussions should just go away.
So, Abida feels time has come that there is a greater openness required for bringing these issues on a public platform where we develop a better understanding of the same, while parents and child connect is to increase. Abida also recommends there is a social awareness about these things, and taking it up at a more open platform is also need of the hour. Keshav, as you brought this as an example, I would like to further, you heard both their opinion, and I would like to add one more context here, which all of you may be aware of, that while this boys' locker room, this particular group has come into a discussion, there was, as the media report, there was another similar group, and there was in Delhi, Noida sector that there's a girl who created operated by a fictitious name, and in a group asked people that I am going to rape. I want to rape so and so. That is the name of her own self, and which of course in investigation it was revealed that it was a girl who was initiated, but originally everyone thought it was a boy who was doing this, and there was another boy who resisted it and said that no, I'm not being part of it, even exited the whole thing. But somebody has put this on the screenshots or whatever, revealed it on other platforms in the social media, which has led to a lot of problem for this boy who was actually correct and protesting, led to a severe depression, even attempted suicide at the as the reports reveal the same. So, that is the kind of impact social and the virtual world can have on the psyche of people. One manipulation, and that has led to the threat for the life. This is one that we know of. There may be so many others, and there may be many, maybe succumbing to such consequences as well. So, is indicative of how values are getting eroded and people are not able to exercise self-restraint. So, what is your take on such behavior pattern that people have?
So, what I want to say is that the power of anonymity, which I spoke about earlier, is what comes into play here. The
Yeah.
misuse of the power of anonymity was used here by a girl. And the problem, that one problem with social media is that if a person raises a voice, one side becomes the victim side and one side becomes the accused side without a debate. So people take law into their own hands and they start accusing a person socially, which impacts that to a great level. So for this, the cybercrime authority of the nation should come up with something really strong where nobody can be accused without proper, uh, wrong things which he has done.
Right. So, cyber security, cyber laws need to be even more seriously enforced so that people can experience the consequence of the negative choices that they make. Now, here comes another issue is about choices. And I feel that our values govern our choices as well. But then, before we go on to that, I must also tell you all that you all have been showered with love and blessings and compliments. There are a lot of viewers have joined, and they are at the moment appreciating the frankness and the strength that you all have in your communication. There are people complimenting from different places. I can see some of the people are even regretting that they joined a little late in the show. So there are a lot of interesting comments for appreciating you all is there, and we, I would like at this point of time to encourage all our viewers. You have already heard, and I'm sure by now you must be developing greater belief that our friends who are our guests today here have an opinion, have a point of view, and will not even hesitate if any one of you have any inquiry or a question that you would like to ask. So we would like to open the forum also. If any one of you as a viewer right now wants to ask any question, feel free to do that. We will try and incorporate that also in our interaction. But before we go on to that, I would like this locker room controversy that we brought in our discussion and a dialogue. You all have given a very mature perspective, and that brings me to the point of choice. You know, I make a choice to watch a particular kind of movies. I make a choice to visit certain kinds of sites when I go online. Um, if you people are right now here present on this platform, you have exercised the choice to be here, right? If I am here with you, I have exercised a choice to create this platform and be with young mind and get stimulated and get a learning from them as well. So we are exercising our choice. We all have a choice. But why is it so? And I want to understand, and allow me to use it a humorous expression. देश जानना चाहता है, दुनिया जानना चाहती है. The world wants to know from you all, because it's the word with the world. Why is it so that younger generation is so prone to things which they should not be spending time and getting hooked on to, but then they get tempted towards that more? Why there is a more number of people are exercising the choices which are not good for them? And I would like to begin with Navya. Navya, why do you think your generation, younger generation, is exercising choices which are not good for them?
I'd like to divide my answer into 2 points. First would be that we have the access to such information, but do not have education as to how to use internet. So I like to harp on the point again that we must be educating our generation as to how to use internet to our benefit. Second point would be peer pressure. Many people get into social media and get into doing stuff which is wrong only because of
Navya,
peer
Navya,
pressure.
I'm sorry for stopping you. Can you repeat the first point? I got distracted looking at the message which popped up in the by the viewers. So I missed your first point. Can I request you to repeat it, please?
The first point was lack of education. Even though our generation has access to the internet, we do not have the education as to how to use it to our benefit. And the
Okay.
second point was peer pressure, because most children get dragged into this kind of stuff only because of peer pressure and the point that they feel as if they may be taunted or they may be made bullied off if they do not get into stuff like this. So I guess these are the only 2 points which may have caused something like this to happen.
So one is education, providing appropriate education so that people can differentiate between the good and the bad and the ugly. At the same time, Navya says peer pressure. What is peer pressure, Navya?
Peer pressure is when maybe your friend or your best friend has done something wrong and is dragging you into doing the same thing just because the whole class, the whole group which they are in is doing it.
Okay.
They don't want to be socially neglected. They don't want to be called like a scary cat or something. That is why they're doing something which is wrong and they know it. They're still doing it because they want to be accepted socially and that everybody is doing it.
Okay. Keshav, Navya raised two important perspectives. One is education, another is peer pressure. Would you like to differ with any, or would you like to add any?
So I would like to differ with one, which is the peer pressure. It is not completely wrong, but then sir, peer pressure could be overcome if parents at a very early stage have a healthy discussion with a child. So because you cannot simply stop the young curious minds to search something online. And if at a very early stage the teachers and the parents put into the children that this is right for you and this is simply wrong for you, then the students are in safe hands. And so,
Absolutely.
secondly, you were saying something about the choice. So, sir, I'll bring this boys' locker room issue again up. And sir, I'll tell something, which is if there were 50 boys in the room doing all those wrong things, there was this one boy who made the choice with his morally upright mind to take the screenshots and bring this issue into the world and deliberate upon it. So, sir, you have the choice to do the right things.
All right. So, while Navya says that peer pressure is the reason for people to get carried away into the indulgences which are not appropriate for them, which is a significant factor. But Keshav also says that, sir, we choose to succumb to the peer pressure. Why is it that one out of many was not succumbing to the pressure, whereas the others did? And there comes the issue and the dialogue about values. And Amita, this brings me to raise a question once again to you, that education, peer pressure, and our own responsibility to make the choice. And there is a point of view which we have, which Keshav says that we you cannot stop a young mind to be curious, right, and explore. But then it is more the choice that the young mind is going to make, and preparing that young mind to make that right choice is what is of greater importance. So, what is your take on this, Abhinav?
So I feel only to blame the people who were involved in all those incidents we hear about is a bit wrong, because it's us who actually form the virtual world, the hypothetical world we are in right now. And it's the speed and the limit to which incident is spread, like be it good or be it bad, it is spread at a great speed and with no boundaries, no limits. It is spread extensively by each one of us, I feel. And also there is the virtual world is a platform where we actually have a thing which is corrupting our minds. And sir, I also feel, as you have earlier come to our school and told us what is responsibility, it is an ability to respond. So in making the choices, I think it's our responsibility to make the choices, make the right choices. And I also feel teenagers, like uh, the students, should now shoulder the responsibility and should actually think upon what is right, what is wrong. And we can't also blame parents and teachers. Till when will they support us? It's all depending upon us. We also need to be ourselves. We also need to support ourselves, and we also need to decide what is wrong and what is wrong. Right.
So Abhita says that let us stop blaming the whole world. Let us start taking the responsibility, and it is our ability to make a responsible choice that is going to be the answer to all. But then, in making this your responsible choice, what the issue comes is of once again values. Who is responsible for values that we have?
Previous
So,
generations,
Yes, Navya?
the previous generations and the present generations, all of us together have combined to make the present values.
So the previous generation and the present generation. So it is not just about yesterday or today. It is the transition, and it is the
Yes.
interface between the previous generation and the current generation. And the way we are interacting with each other is responsible. That's what Navya says. But how? Can we elaborate this a little more for our current generation to ponder and think? Because you have people listening to you, and whatever you will say, those who are live will be listening to it, those who will be watching it later on are going to be pondering on certain points. So when we say it is an interaction between the previous generation and the current generation, now let me represent the previous generation in a little let me give you some of the common mindsets. One of the common mindset is आजकल की जनरेशन तो कुछ सुनती ही नहीं है, हम समझाते हैं लेकिन करनी तो उनको उनके मन की ही है. Right, that's one of the very common statements that we hear. The another statement that we are you know uh, hearing from the our generation about people of the next generation is you know there's so much of media exposure that the younger generation thinks they know too much. Younger generation thinks they know more than what we know, and they are not willing to listen to us. So, is listening becoming a problem, or is those who are telling is a problem? Yes, Navya.
So,
Sir, listening is and telling is both are a issue. Sometimes children don't listen. Sometimes parents know better than children, and they give them advice, and some children don't listen to them. In some other cases, the parents don't listen to their own children, even if the children know good for themselves. So the situation is either sided. I mean, it is either sometimes the children don't listen, or either sometimes the parents don't understand the children
Mhm.
or what
Okay,
they want.
all right. Okay, Keshav, what is your take on it? Who's responsible?
in my opinion, what I heard one day is पेरेंट्स की डिसीजन गलत हो सकती है, नियत नहीं. right?
Yes.
So, sir, with their experience, I'm 100% sure that they know more about they know more about values than us, right? But so with the modern generation, there are a few things which we know more about them. So it is an ever learning process where even my mom sometimes has to learn from me, and I have to learn from my mom. So it is a process from either way where there's an ever learning process.
Okay, great. This adds, brings me to bring one of our viewers' perspective to all of you, and let me try and share that also on screen with the rest of our viewers. That is Srinjoy Mitra. Srinjoy Mitra says younger generation are vulnerable to toxic behavior, and life is because of false beliefs and false perception of the reality. They tend to copy the way than to create their own. How much do you agree with this? I repeat, younger generation are vulnerable to toxic behavior, and life is because of false belief and false perception of reality. They tend to copy the way than to create their own. So the point of view is, जो younger generation है, it is more into imitation. They are copying the ways. They are certain false beliefs and false perception. They are they are imitating the same rather than creating their own. So somewhere they are very. The argument is current generation is not exercising individuality. They are more into imitation, which is leading to the problem. Keshav, what is
So
your take on that?
So you cannot simply take the entire generation into the context. So each person is different, right?
Right?
Like each and every individual has his or her own individual responsibility to do for the society, to do and think, and like whatever they do is in their own hands. So it's an individual responsibility, and so you cannot simply take an entire generation into context. Even in our lives, even in our generation, there are people who want to start, who want to be someone on their own and build up an entire, world of their own. So that's my opinion.
Okay. So you feel that no, there are individualities, it cannot be generalized. There are people who behave, who get into imitation and get carried away, and there are others who are into their own individuality. And you feel that even at your age, there are people who want to be counted and they have their own thought process. Amita, what is your take on this point that is raised by Srinjoy Mitra?
Sir, I again feel that this topic is about a coin having two sides. So, sir, what I feel, why do young generation imitate or copy is because the publicity that the particular thing gets. So, sir, actually going towards the publicity, like which is received by that particular thing. And I also feel that the hypothetical world, the virtual world, also gives us an opportunity to innovate something of our own creative. Like we have many new technologies coming up by which we can make something of our own creativity. So I feel that it's the same thing as a coin having having two sides. So it actually depends upon us whether we want to imitate or whether we want to follow the trend or we want to create the trend.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Abida. Navya, Srinjoy has added a line here, and the statement sounds interesting. Tech is the new taboo for younger generation. Tech is the new taboo for the younger generation. You agree with this, or you don't agree with this, and why?
Sir, I don't agree with the statement necessarily because the statement can't be generalized. Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody's a different personality of their own. So technology can be is like a knife, like Abida said. It can be used either to cut vegetables or to stab someone. So technology can be used to our benefit or to someone or to do something wrong. So I don't necessarily agree with the statement. I just think that technology as a side can be used for our benefit or can be used as a wrong.
I read it as tech is the new taboo, but then I realized later on, my colleague just now pointed out, and this colleague of mine is a partner in this business venture as well, is my wife, who is my support in this lockdown at home. And she said that I read it wrong. It is not taboo, it is tobacco. So Srinjoy has written, "Tech is the new tobacco." Is trying to imply is a new nasha for people. So let's take the right perspective. Srinjoy, I'm extremely sorry that I read your statement in a wrong context. So I stand corrected. And Srinjoy's statement that I want to bring to platform, which I'm sharing with all, is tech is the new tobacco for younger generation, and tobacco is injurious for health. So do you think it's a new tobacco, Keshav and Abida?
So I'll start. So technology is like so tobacco, alcohol, and all it's addictive. So technology is addictive as well. Almost everybody is somewhere or the other occupied with their phone, their social media 24/7. But sir, there's one thing. So on a tobacco, on a packet of say a cigarette, it is written smoking kills. And sir, there is no good. There's nothing good we are getting from tobacco. But so from technology, if there are some cons, we are getting the pros as well. There is a lot of good as
Why they
well.
will be no good? Buyers of tobacco will be paying so much of tax that can help the economy. That's on a lighter note. That's just a perspective. But then what you say, I totally agree, and what you are raising as a point. Abida, tech is the new tobacco.
Sir, I think yes, technology is addictive. The hypothetical world created around us is addictive. But sir, at the same, do we say all the addictions are addictive to tobacco? It is not.
Right.
Is it with the younger generation, with our generation? It is not that everybody is addicted to it. Yes, as Keshav said, and as you also said, that there are some good points and bad points. And sir, I feel that it only depends upon us how till what extent do we want it to influence and have an impact on our life.
All right. Uh, Navya, let me make my amends because I have thrown the wrong perspective of Sinjoy to you when I said that tech is the new taboo. I would like to have your perspective, and I want Sinjoy and other viewers also to hear your perspective on tech is the new tobacco of the new generation.
So I do not believe that tech is the new tobacco. Just like I mean, technology can be used for an advantage, but tobacco does not have any advantages for our health as such. And
Okay.
if you take technology as a whole, we have internet where we can have good music. We can learn how to make like cook new stuff. We can learn new foreign language. So I don't think tobacco has such a good advantage in it. Even if tax is
Okay.
counted, I don't think tobacco can contribute to society.
Right.
Technology
So
does.
our panelists have a point of view, Sinjoy, that workaholic is welcome, alcoholic is not. So uh, you're getting addicted to technology for constructive purposes is welcome, but getting indulgent in technology for inappropriate usage is, of course, is a tobacco which is going to be very injurious to our mental health and physical well-being as well. Friends, we have a query and from a very close friend who's very regular with our show and a viewer. And when it comes to younger friends like you, she is very, very encouraging. Is Indrani Guha, who's also principal of a school in Dahanu. Dahanu is a city and a township in Maharashtra. It's in Maharashtra and Gujarat border. And she is a principal of Cradle Word School there. Indrani ji has put inquiry for all of you. And she says that has the virtual world distance you all from the real world? Curious to know which is the comfortable word. I repeat, It's a very interestingly placed query. That is, as the virtual world distance you all from the real world, curious to know which is the comfortable world. Who would like to take the step? First foot forward to respond to this. Yes, Keshav, go ahead.
So 100% the virtual world has distanced us all from the real world. I have myself experienced situations where four people are sitting in a room and all are enclosed in their phones. Right. So sir, that is somewhere there. And so with that there's something coming up with the new mobile phones and the new technology known as the Zen mode, where an
Right.
individual is made to lock their phone up for say 10 hours or something, and
Uh-huh.
they are kept aloof from the virtual world to take evaluate the real world. So that is
Okay.
coming up there as well. And sir, I'm 100% sure, but see sir, at these times of the lockdown, what is helping us? The virtual world. So
Okay. So Keshav says that definitely virtual world has distanced us more, but he feels he's more comfortable with the real world and is talking about Zen mode in the smartphones, which is to go off the virtual world to get the feel of the real world. So there are pluses and minuses, but then and lockdown has made us realize the value of the real world all the more. We all are waiting to go out and be counted and matter and breathe in the fresh air, instead of just being confined to our households. Navya, what is your take on Indraniji's inquiry and the curiosity that has virtual world distance you all from the real world, and which is the more comfortable world?
I like to agree with Keshav, sir. I have also experienced a scenario where my friend is sitting in a room and we're all on our phones and on Instagram, even though we're all together. So, in the real world, we do have, I mean, our generation is a lot on to the virtual world, but taking the scenario like the lockdown presently, all of us are connected only through technology. So, yeah, technology does have its plus and minuses, and it's up to us as to how to use it.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that, Navya. Abida, what is your take on Indraniji's inquiry and the curiosity?
I would say I agree 50-50%, because virtual world has other way taken us bit away from the real world, but also it has made us more connective to the real world.
All
So
right.
that even if when we are in this state of lockdown, the real world is actually locked. It's the virtual world which has opened its gate for us to be more connected, for us to be having effective learning and all the other plus points. But at the same time, it is actually pampering our health. It is actually corrupting our health, damaging our health at the same time, because being on the virtual world also has a great negative impact on our health rather than only our mind. So I feel uh, uh, like I agree
Okay,
with Rani ji, and I also disagree a bit.
okay. Thank you so much. So you feel that it has distanced you, but not to an extent that we need to feel very concerned about the same. And at the moment, it is this virtual world which is actually connecting us with the rest of the world. So it does have its positive dimensions as well. That's what Abida is trying to express in her disagreement. And since it's really a pleasure to hear such candid opinion. We have, a question by Neha Upadhyay, a very common question asked to us counselors by parents, and we would like you to answer. How do I get my child to stop playing PUBG, or at least not let it be an addiction? Do any one of you have any answer to help me out? The gaming and the PUBG and these addictive games. Neha Upadhyay, your question has many answers. Both Keshav and Navya have a point of view to share. Navya, we'll take it first from you.
Okay. I think what she should do is that ask her son or her daughter to sit with her and make a timetable and say ki, if you want to play PUBG, you can play for 1 hour, but then you'll have to study for the same amount of time. So the more he or she plays PUBG, the more amount of time he or she will be studying as well. So if he doesn't want to study for a long time, he'll stop playing PUBG automatically.
All right. Okay, that's there's again an element of dialogue and conversation between the parent and the child, and setting up certain schedules for usage of the same. That's Navya's recommendation to Neha Upadhyay's query. Keshav, what is your recommendation and take on this? PUBG is something which has become extremely addictive. Though while we are talking about PUBG, it's also about somebody else also has little while earlier raised a query about gaming, how to control that. So, any recommendations, Keshav?
Sure, sir. Adding to the points made by Navya of about making the timetables, I earlier mentioned that technology is good when you use it to its full potential. So, ma'am, I would suggest you to download some apps from the Play Store or the iStore where they allow you to limit the usage of an app. So, if you say limit the usage of the application PUBG in your child's phone to say 1 hour, so the child cannot use it beyond the time limit, and that is where you get to make the timetable and make sure that the timetable is being followed.
All right. Thank you so much. It's so educative listening to you all. Keshav, when you said a recommendation to this query, that there are apps that can limit the usage of another app. There can be a setting specified. It is a learning for me as well. I think I'm going to invite you to have a one session with me as a guest to educate parents what they can do to help the other children. You may become very unpopular with your friends and the youngsters, but then parents will be very happy, I'm sure. But then that is in a lighter vein, Keshav. Thank you so much for this insight. I am educated, and that is the power of Generation Next leaders, because there is something that I know more than you. There is something that I am more experienced than you. But then there are so many things that you have learned which I am yet to experience and explore. So thank you for educating me, each one of you. Before we end up, I realize that it's already been 1 hour, 15 minutes that almost that we have been in conversation. It's so interesting and engrossing talking to each one of you. It's really proud of you that you are making your school and your parents and your friends so much proud being on this national and a global platform. You will be watched not just in India and but across, and your voice will be heard. We have Abida having wanting to make a point here. Yes, Abida.
Sir, for that PUBG addiction, I feel that the games played by your generation were better than the PUBG and all the other virtual games. So, like, there are many games played by your generation, like Lagori. Like, there are many to list out. So, I feel it becomes a duty of a parent here that they actually start playing those games, start recalling their memories, and make memories with the new younger generation.
That will thank you so much, Abida, for sharing that. There are so many other games which are does not require technology. We need to indulge, and that will strengthen the bond between the parent and the child, as well as it may take the child away from the virtual games like PUBG and others. And I must tell you that during this lockdown, I played all those बचपन वाले games. हमने लंगड़ी टांग भी खेली, हमने वो I could never play it in my childhood, but my wife trained me into it during lockdown. बच्चों के साथ बैठ के वो गिट्टियां होती ना उछाल के हाथ में कुछ ऐसे लेते थे, right? वो भी हमने खेला, hopscotch भी खेला. We've done that, and I recommend you all also should do that with your brothers, younger ones, and enjoy life and get connected. So to end our this episode, I would like each one of you, and we'll go from west to south to east. And I would like any message, any thing that you would like to share on the theme that we have today, a word with a word on a dialogue on values and the virtual world. Your take, your recommendation, your message. for all your friends, not just from your school, but from the whole world? Abida, beginning from you.
Um, I feel that the values are the things which make upon us, which build upon us, and which build upon our memories. And I feel that virtual world should be considered a platform where we should learn all the incidents around us. We should take all the incidents as an eye opener for us. And I request all my generation friends to shoulder the responsibility to encourage values through the virtual world rather than damaging and corrupting your minds.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you so much for that, Abida. Navya, can we have your point of view and your message to the world?
Yes. I'd like to take this opportunity to request all the people from my generation to take this opportunity to sit and ponder as to what values are and how we can inculcate more of them into our lives. I'd like to also ask all our viewers to stay positive, to stay safe, to stay home, and to stay healthy.
Thank you so much for being so positive. Keshav, your message to the world.
So, a message for the teachers and the parents. Since we are evolving with time with technology, so it is time for all of you to put in values to your children and the students regarding the virtual world as well. A message to the students. So, students, a very important message to all of you out there. Teachers are coming online, working day and night, teaching you, right? They might not be accustomed to the technology as much as you are, right? But I'll be frank, I've seen students making fun of teachers when they are not much accustomed with technology and they are making mistakes online. So a message to students, please help them out, help them. See, I agree the younger generation is much more tech savvy. Help out your students in teaching you, because at some point of time they even taught you something very, very valuable and they are continuously teaching. And so third, message to the entire world: this time too shall pass. Hum honge kamyab. Stay positive and keep your spirits high, because the sun will rise again.
Thank you so much, Keshav, for such strong positive message and the positivity that three of you have shared today on this platform makes me feel confident that I'm going to grow old in a safer, leaving the word in a safer hand. You all are going to provide a better word to us. I have no doubt about it because you are representing your generation, being a head boy, head girl, president interact, you have been the chosen one, and you are representing the youth, and you all are amazing, so much to learn. And I'm sure when you this episode gets over, you can watch the comments and the statements that people have blessing you and showering a lot of appreciation for each one of you. Thank you so much for being part of a word with a word. Looking
Thank you.
forward to having you all. And the way you people are talking, let me tell you, if anyone who choose to take up psychology in future, you have an open offer to join us when you grow up.
Thank you, sir.
Friends, values, and the virtual world. You were watching A Word with a Word, and I am Amitabh Mohan on the School Times. I'm sure you'll agree our generation next has a point of view, has an opinion. They want to matter, they want to be counted, and they have a voice. They want to be heard. Today you heard Navya, Keshav, and Abida from Bombay, Calcutta, and Hyderabad. I'm sure there's been a lot of inspiring expressions that they have shared. They were so articulate, so beautifully. They have shared their perspective, candid opinion. They are generally aware. They are fearless about having an opinion, even on issues like boys' locker room and all. And that is the leadership strength that we have. So compliments to all the schools who are developing and nurturing such lovely students and younger generation, and bless them all. Friends, stay tuned and keep watching A Word with a Word every Saturday, 4 p.m. We are going to come up with an issue and we'll have a dialogue with rest of the world. Till then, thank you so much and stay tuned to the School Times. God bless.